Congratulations to host for learning new ninjutsu. Water style, water barrier, getting started. Sasuke stopped the release of the genin technique, and watched the prompt popped up by the system. This level is just for beginners. The level of entry cannot meet the requirements of Sasuke, at least it must be the level of Grandmaster. Continue. Not seal. Release ninjutsu, sweeping water. The roar continued to sound in this training ground. Every time Sasuke's ninjutsu is released, it can make the 4 Atonin feel very incredible. Every time Sasuke releases ninjutsu, which is visible to the naked eye, he can improve. This speed of improvement is simply unacceptable. At the beginning, Sasuke's ninjutsu release seemed very jerky, but as Sasuke's proficiency increased, it was basically a blink of an eye. Sasuke's water style is released in style, we can even say. The Atonin 4 saw with their own eyes a guy who knew nothing about water style. In the blink of an eye, it seems to be a water style master. Watching Sasuke release the water flow out of thin air, and form a powerful water column to block in front of him. This level of defense is obviously able to easily defend against most fire styles. The power of water style can be seen from 2 points. One is water flow. The more terrifying the water flow, the stronger the power of this water style. The second is to look at the speed of the water flow. The power produced by the different speeds of the water flow is also different. At first there was no sound of running water. But 10 minutes passed. After Sasuke unleashed dozens of water-style jutsu, everything changed. Boom boom boom. When Sasuke released the water barrier again, he could clearly hear the roar of the water. Under such circumstances, the 4 of them were completely dumbfounded. Is this kind of talent? Is human beings capable of possessing it? Seeing a person with his own eyes, from knowing nothing about ninjutsu to a ninja who specializes in water style, it only took him more than 10 minutes during this period. It's no wonder Master Orochimaru values this guy so much. This astonishing talent is indeed not something ordinary people can possess. Water style, water barrier, Grandmaster, go from starter to Grandmaster in less than 10 minutes. The speed of improvement is not uncomfortably fast. While continuously releasing water style, Sasuke only felt that his chakra consumed about 2/3. There's about a third left. Take a break with your legs crossed and perform a chakra rinse to speed up chakra recovery. There are still many water-style ninjutsu waiting for Sasuke. In this sealed book, it seems that all the ninjutsu of second Hokage are recorded in it. Next there are water style, water dragon bomb, water style, water rush wave, water style, water severing wave, water style, water severing wave, water style, heaven cry, water style, big explosion water surge. These water style ninjutsu, even with Sasuke's talent, it is impossible to master them all in one day. It is possible to master it, but I want everything to reach the level of a Grandmaster. I'm afraid it's a bit difficult. If others know Sasuke's thoughts, they will probably not be able to help complaining. Ordinary people even learn a ninjutsu, it takes several days, and even the more powerful ninjutsu, the longer it takes to learn. Sometimes being able to master a new ninjutsu in a month is already considered a talent. However, Sasuke can easily cast it just by looking at it. Such a talent is unbelievable. And Sasuke also wants to upgrade all ninjutsu to the most basic Grandmaster stage. In other words, within 10 minutes, Sasuke required his ninjutsu attainments to be comparable to the level of Chunin who specializes in this escapism. And yet he did. Congratulations to host for mastering the new ninjutsu. Water style, water dragon bomb, beginner, congratulations to the upgrade of host ninjutsu mastery level. Water style, water dragon bomb, Grandmaster, Yinren 4 people. Have you learned another ninjutsu? It's not just about learning it. It's about raising a ninjutsu to an extraordinary level in less than 10 minutes. If I hadn't seen with my own eyes that ninjutsu can be learned in this way, I would never believe that someone can master ninjutsu at this speed. Perhaps this is the difference between geniuses and ordinary people. The 4 of them looked at Sasuke now with numb eyes. Water style, water shockwave, getting started. Water style, water wave upgrade to Grandmaster. Water style, Bo Chao Da, entry right pointing arrow Grandmaster. Water style, water severing wave, getting started right pointing arrow Grandmaster. Water style, Heavenly Cry, entry right pointing arrow Grandmaster. Water Style, Big Explosion Water Shockwave, entry right pointing arrow Grandmaster. After mastering 6 water style ninjutsu in a row, Sasuke feels that he is now mastering water style ninjutsu faster and faster. If it weren't for the release of ninjutsu in the middle, a lot of chakra was consumed. If Sasuke needs to wait for the water to drain away and restore chakra at the same time, the time can be shortened even more. Originally, Sasuke felt that his chakra amount should be pretty good. After all, the amount of chakra I have now is several times that of Kakashi. After using water style, Sasuke felt a problem. It turned out that water style consumed chakra so much. Unlike fire style and lightning style, the chakra consumed to release water style is simply different. Release water style ninjutsu in places without water. Basically, every ninjutsu it will consume twice as much chakra before it can be released. Although the same water style doesn't look very good, the power of water style is extraordinary. The same fire style and water style collide, then there is no doubt that water style will win. After learning so much water style ninjutsu, Sasuke also plans to put water style ninjutsu aside for the time being. I want to learn some other ninjutsu. However, the next technique of the Book of Sealing caught Sasuke's interest. Water style, Hard Vortex Water Blade. This water style ninjutsu works just like the water version of Rasengan. But the shape is different, like a javelin formed by water flow, it will wrap one arm of the caster. Use the terrifying penetrating power formed by the rapidly rotating water to attack the enemy. At the same time, when it hits the enemy, it explodes to form a huge water flow Uzumaki. Then use the centrifugal force or the squeezing, tearing and other abilities of the water to crush and tear the enemy's body. The power is astonishing. Ninjutsu rank S. This water style ninjutsu is interesting. Water style is a very suitable ninjutsu for Sasuke, after all, if Sasuke uses lightning style. It can also form compound ninjutsu attacks with water style. Hard Eddy Water Blade with Chidori. I am afraid that the power will be even higher. This water style ninjutsu must be learned. Hard Vortex Water Blade. I didn't expect there to be such a water style ninjutsu. Sasuke felt an inexplicable excitement right now. Although the chakra in the body has been tossed by these ninjutsu, the back and forth consumption of Sasuke's chakra has slowed down a lot. But now Sasuke still doesn't plan to stop. Perform another chakra refinement to speed up the recovery of chakra. The Itonin 4 people watched Sasuke continue. Is this guy a monster? It's been a day, he's practiced ninjutsu all day, and his chakra hasn't run out yet. It's not a matter of chakra being exhausted or not, won't this guy be tired? Even if it's made of iron, he won't be able to sustain such crazy practice. But this guy is still able to continue. As the chakra fluctuations on Sasuke became more and more intense, Sasuke's chakra volume returned to a full state again. And after feeling Sasuke's chakra recovered, the faces of the 4 became a little pale again. They feel tired just looking at it, but Sasuke, who is the person involved, doesn't seem to feel this way. Still looking radiant. It seems that practicing ninjutsu is not tiring at all. After recovering chakra, Sasuke began to practice Hard Eddy Water Blade. There are quite a few prints of this number. Hundreds of prints. Just looking at the knot seal, one can clearly understand that this is probably an extremely terrifying number. It's not just as simple as an A-level ninjutsu, it's also an S-level ninjutsu. Sasuke's seal movement is very skillful. Even if there are hundreds of seals, it is only a matter of 10 seconds for Sasuke. Finish printing easily. Next second. Swish. The sound of turbulent running water sounded, and the water flowing out of nowhere surrounded Sasuke's right arm. Spread from shoulders to wrists. In the blink of an eye, a terrifying current of high-speed swirling water was formed. It looked like it was just a thin layer of running water covering Sasuke's arm. But even with such a thin layer of water, its power is not as weak as it seems. Sasuke raised his hand and slammed it hard against the wall, and the formed water gun touched the wall at the moment. Cut the wall as easily as cutting tofu. Immediately afterwards, Sasuke controlled the water gun and slammed into the wall. However, the next second, boom, a terrible roar suddenly erupted. In an instant, it spread instantly, and a huge water storm swept across the wall crazily. The roar became more and more deafening. The Atonin 4 ninjas looked at the terrifying water storm in front of them, and then recalled how vulnerable they were before. The power of this technique is too different from what it looks like on the surface. It is simply a sky and an underground. The contrast is too strong. How could there be such ninjutsu? The spreading water storm basically almost covered the entire training ground. Wait until the roar dies down. The 4 Yinren looked in that direction again, only to see that the entire wall was completely destroyed. The wall with a thickness of about 5 or 6 meters was almost broken through. And the traces of water blade cutting can be seen everywhere in the entire training ground. Basically, there is not a single intact place in the entire training ground. The eyes of the 4 were full of horror. Some of them don't quite understand what the situation is, that unexpectedly, such terrifying power erupted. Is this also water style? Never seen such a powerful water style. At this time, let alone the 4 Atonin, even Sasuke himself was very surprised. As expected of the technique developed by second Hokage, the power of this water style is extraordinary. Sasuke smiled, and at this time a person suddenly appeared. Sasuke-kun. That was just now. Orochimaru, who suddenly appeared behind Sasuke, was staying at the base for a while. But he was startled suddenly by the movement Sasuke made. He hurried over to check, and at the same time, he happened to see the scene of the hard vortex water blade erupting. Even Orochimaru was shocked by such a water style. It is indeed a terrible technique. The technique in the sealed book. The power is not bad. Sasuke smiled. Congratulations to host for learning new ninjutsu. Water style, hard vortex water blade, beginner. There is another trump card, but the mastery level of this technique is still too low. You have to take the time to raise the mastery level of this technique to at least Grandmaster. However, the amount of chakra consumed by this technique is not ordinary. 3 times more chakra than Chidori consumes. With Sasuke's current amount of chakra released at most 3 times in a row, I am afraid that there is less than 1/3 of the chakra left in his body. In other words, the current Sasuke can cast this spell at most 3 times. Although the power is amazing, the amount of chakra consumed is equally astonishing. Sasuke felt helpless. After all, the amount of chakra is still too small. If it is like Naruto, I am afraid there is no need to worry about this problem. In addition, the water style is almost mastered, and there are still a lot of forbidden techniques in the sealed book waiting for Sasuke to learn. The most important thing about these techniques is probably that they require a huge amount of chakra. Otherwise, after learning, each technique can only be used once or twice to exhaust chakra. The situation for Sasuke was even more severe when the real battle happened. The amount of chakra has to continue to increase. While Sasuke was thinking, the system pops up a new prompt. Host, please upgrade to special Jonin level as soon as possible. Reward. Chakra volume increase okay? Drowsy meets the pillow. I just wanted to increase the amount of chakra, and now the system directly gives such a reward, which is good. The amount of chakra increased, although the system did not say how much it increased. But the rewards of the system usually surprise Sasuke. The amount of chakra I want to increase will not be too small. Backquote, it seems that Mr. Sasuke is really talented, and he learned the ninjutsu in the Book of Seals so quickly. Orochimaru looked at Sasuke with a hint of admiration in his eyes. Since this is the case, I won't disturb Sasuke-kun's cultivation. By the way, thank you Sasuke-kun for letting Tsunade go. She's done her best with Kimimaro. Speaking of Kimimaro's question, Sasuke just wanted to ask Orochimaru about his own idea, whether it is feasible or not. Wait, Orochimaru, I have an idea about healing Kimimaro. Idea? Treat Kimimaro? Even Tsunade couldn't do anything about it, but Sasuke thought of a way? This made Orochimaru curious. What kind of method? If Junma Liu Cheng becomes Jinchuriki, do you think his blood disease can be cured? Orochimaru, surprise. What? Let Junma Liu Cheng become Jinchuriki. Sasuke's idea surprised Orochimaru. What is going on in this person's mind? How could he think of making Junma Liu Cheng Jinchuriki? just to solve Kimimara's blood-inherited disease? This is too outrageous. Doesn't Sasuke know that tailed beasts are treasures in every village? For the entire ninja world, it is equivalent to a nuclear weapon. In this case, in order to solve a mere blood disease, it is necessary to find a way to catch the tailed beast. It's like hitting a mosquito with a cannon. But after thinking about it, according to Tsunade, although Kimimara's blood succession boundary has the ability to heal itself. But because Kimimara's consumption is more than his recovery, that's why he has this special blood-inherited disease. So at this stage, if Kimimaro wants to continue to use the blood successor limit, someone must continuously input chakra for him every day. Only in this way can Kimimaro maintain the status quo. Although he cannot recover immediately, he will not die immediately. According to Sasuke, instead of having people inject chakra into Kimimaro every day, it is better to find a tailed beast to seal it into Kimimaro's body. Let Junma Liu Chang become Jinchuriki, so that there is an existence of infinite energy. Provide chakra to Kimimaro every moment, and the super recovery ability of tailed beast can also strengthen Kimimaro's self-healing ability. Maybe it can directly make Kimimaro have a qualitative leap. The strength has leapt to become the top monster in the ninja world. Thinking of this, Orochimaru's expression changed rapidly, and after several consecutive changes, Orochimaru's eyes shone. Mr. Sasuke, your idea is really surprising. If you really let Junma Liu Chang become Jinchuriki, then maybe his blood-inherited disease may really be cured. The tailed beast might just be Kimimaro's best medicine. Speaking of which, Orochimaru also looked a little excited. Although his hands cannot be used at present, if Kimimaro's blood disease can be solved, then the Kimimaro would immediately be the perfect container. Of course, there is no way to compare it with the container of Sasuke. After all, Sasuke's own terrifying talent makes it impossible for Sasuke to be surpassed by anyone. But Kimimaro's bloodline is no worse than Sasuke's Uchiha bloodline. Even more in line with Orochimaru's heart. I also heard Tsunade say that I need to input chakra to ensure Kimimaro's normal activities. Orochimaru nodded. This idea is indeed very good, but there is a question. Has Mr. Sasuke ever thought that catching tailed beasts is not so simple? Hearing this, Sasuke smiled. There are many sealing techniques in the Book of Seals. Sealing a tailed beast is not a problem at all. Forehead. Orochimaru was speechless. Did he mean the issue of sealing the tailed beast? He was talking about the tail-grabbing beast. First of all, not to mention how strong the tail beast is. With Sasuke and him, even Orochimaru can't use his hands now. Orochimaru didn't feel any difficulty in dealing with tailed beasts. Tail grabbers are easy, but the problem is what happens next. After the tailed beast caught it, it was not that simple. First of all, the target of the Akatsuki organization seems to be the tailed beast. If a tailed beast is caught, the Akatsuki organization will definitely come to the door. Secondly, tailed beasts belong to the major ninja villages, and no ninja village can turn a blind eye to such a thing. At that time, all the ninjas in the entire village will definitely be mobilized to capture the tail beast. If that happened, even Orochimaru would have to be worried. After all, 2 fists are hard to beat against 4,000. Sasuke-kun, what I'm talking about is, after catching the tailed beast, the ninja village that owns the tailed beast will definitely not let it go. We're afraid that we will be targeted by all the ninja villages in the ninja world. Speaking of which, Orochimaru thinks that Sasuke should have understood the horror. But Sasuke said with a face of indifference, "So what? Even if that's the case, I'll capture the tailed beast." Orochimaru moved his mouth to continue speaking, but finally closed his mouth after seeing Sasuke's determined gaze. Sasuke's wind seems to be stronger than he imagined. If this is the case, then he can wait and see what Sasuke's wind will make the ninja world look like. Will it really work if you seal the tailed beast into my body? Suddenly a strange voice sounded. Sasuke and Orochimaru were not too surprised. Because the two of them had felt this breath before. And it feels incredible that there are so many Itonin for people. When will another person come? Looking in the direction of the sound, Kimimaro was standing in that direction. At the entrance of the training ground, looking at Sasuke. Kimimaro had already woken up and wanted to thank Sasuke face to face, but Sasuke had been practicing. After seeing Tsunade, he ran to the training ground immediately. Kimimaro didn't want to disturb Sasuke, thinking about waiting for Dong to finish thanking Sasuke. But Sasuke made a big noise. He couldn't help but come over curiously to take a look. But he didn't expect to hear such amazing news just by looking at it. My blood-inherited disease is still cured, but the price is a little bit high. He actually needs to capture the tailed beast, seal it into his body, and make himself a Jinchuriki. Kimimaro naturally knew what Jinchuriki was. Whether it works or not, you will know if you try it. The answer given by Sasuke made Kimimaro dumbfounded. He knew what it means to try it. Do you think you are a guinea pig? But Kimimaro could clearly feel Sasuke's heart. I saved Sasuke once, but it was only because of the order of Lord Orochimaru. He didn't want to save Sasuke at all, and now Sasuke has made such an effort for himself. This made Kimimaro very grateful to Sasuke. Thanks. Lowering his head, Kimimaro thanked softly. Sasuke waved his hand. I don't need to say these words. When you set off to catch the tail beast, you have to pay 10,000. Certainly. But I have to wait a few days before trying to find a way to catch the tailed beast. When catching tailed beasts, it is also necessary to pay attention to whether to catch a giant beast. This is also a question worth thinking about. The power of the tailed beast is too weak. What if it is not enough to make Kimimaro's blood disease get better? That would be bad. However, it is not so easy to catch a tailed beast that is too powerful. See the way Sasuke seems to have made up his mind. Orochimaru finds it more and more interesting. Now that he thinks about it, it seems that he keeps setting off all kinds of storms. It's more interesting to watch other people stir up the wind and cause the whole ninja world to change the whole world. Mr. Sasuke, if you decide, you can tell me which tailed beast you want to capture, and I will help you collect information if possible. Hearing this, Sasuke turned cold. What is this? Orochimaru is going to be your secretary. It would be nice to have support staff like Orochimaru. After all, Orochimaru has no other abilities. The ability to dig holes and build bases is very powerful. The whole ninja world doesn't know how many Orochimaru's laboratories are, and this guy is also subordinate everywhere. All of them are strong, and it is really not difficult for Orochimaru to collect information. Okay. I'll think about it first. Saying that, Orochimaru smiled. Seeing Orochimaru's attitude towards Sasuke, Kimimaro and Itonin couldn't help thinking about it. Could this be raising Sasuke-sama as his heir? Looking at Mr. Orochimaru, he looks like I will support you in everything you do. If it wasn't for cultivating heirs, I wouldn't be so tolerant towards Sasuke. But no matter whether he wants to cultivate Sasuke or not, Kimimaro is also sincerely grateful to Sasuke now. Thank you, Master Sasuke. After speaking, Kimimaro bowed deeply to Sasuke. This made Sasuke a little overwhelmed. Faced with this kind of thing, Sasuke is quite shy. Okay. If you want to say thank you, I should say thank you, you don't need to do this. Sasuke's words made Kimimaro feel even more ashamed of Sasuke. He didn't intend to save Sasuke, he just wanted to fulfill the order of the big snake. But now Master Sasuke has paid so much for him. If you have any orders, Master Sasuke, just say it. After speaking, Kimimaro turned around and planned to leave. Seeing this, Orochimaru didn't say anything, and he also planned to leave. But at this time Sasuke stopped Orochimaru. Master Orochimaru. Sasuke-kun. Do you have any amazing ideas to say? Hearing this, Sasuke was speechless. I don't know if it's surprising or not, but there is one thing I want to ask. That is, I don't know how to cultivate the nature transformation of the earth attribute. Earth? Nature transformation of soil properties? Orochimaru was stunned for a moment. If he remembers correctly, the current Sasuke has mastered the nature transformation of the three attributes of fire, thunder, and water. For a ninja of the Jonin level. What Sasuke has mastered is already terrifying, and now he still wants to practice the nature transformation of the king attribute. Once practiced, Sasuke also mastered the nature transformation of the four attributes. Compared to his teacher, Sarutobi Hiruzen is only one category behind. Sasuke's ambition is a bit big. Want to become an all-powerful ninja like Sarutobi Hiruzen? Master 5 nature transformations and become the second ninja doctor? Mr. Sasuke, if there is no special purpose, the actual Jonin does not need to master a variety of nature transformation, rather than waste time on this. It's better to practice the ninjutsu you have mastered. Orochimaru is indeed persuading with good intentions, but this matter is not considered by Sasuke at all. I know, but needless to say, I just want to know how to cultivate the nature transformation of attributes. Seeing this, Orochimaru naturally stopped talking. Sasuke seems to have made up his mind, there is no room for negotiation. Well, since this is the case, then I won't say more. It is also very simple to cultivate the nature transformation of the king attribute. Saying that, Orochimaru took a balloon out of his pocket. Feel free to blow up the balloon. Then place it in the palm of your hand, and the chakra surges. The balloon visible to the naked eye is changing, not that kind of morphological change. Is a structural change. A balloon gradually petrified, and finally turned into a stone that was pinched by Orochimaru. This is the nature transformation of the soil attribute, transforming other objects into soil. This kind of petrification is a successful cultivation. Speaking of which, Orochimaru wanted to add some questions about chakra attributes and nature transformation. Sasuke has already taken the balloon he gave and started to practice. Transform the balloon's construction with chakra, turning it into stone. Completely changed its structure. This kind of thing is not so easy to complete. For beginners, it takes at least 5 days to complete this step. This is the prerequisite for the other party to cultivate the first attribute change. The further you go, because the more nature transformation you master, the difficulty of practice will actually increase exponentially. Because when performing the corresponding nature transformation, the more changes you master, the easier it is to get confused. According to the situation of Sasuke's fourth nature transformation, I am afraid that in a few years, it is impossible to complete just this first step. Orochimaru looked at the unchanged balloon in Sasuke's hand. Sasuke-kun, practicing nature transformation is not that simple. I hope you will keep in mind what I just said. If it is not for any special reason, it is best to focus on the nature transformation practice you have mastered. Otherwise it's easy to chew too much. Having said that, Orochimaru left. Leaving Sasuke alone in the training ground, he kept trying chakra nature transformation. Orochimaru estimated that Sasuke would give up before long. However, an hour later, Sasuke was sweating profusely, holding a stone with a smile on his face. Finally finished. Just the first balloon took Sasuke a full hour. It is simply unrealistic to compress the time to about 2 seconds. But Sasuke didn't think that he would spend such a long time the second time. At most, he should be able to complete the transformation in less than half of the time. Strive to successfully master the attribute of nature transformation before setting out to capture the tailed beast. In this way, the previous reward can be used, and he can get the wood-style blood inheritance limit. Once he gets the wood-style, Sasuke is confident to take his pupil opening skills to the next level. During Sasuke's crazy practice, at the same time, a big event is happening in Konoha. Konoha. A week has passed since Sarutobi's death, and Danzo, who has always been eager to move, thought that he could become the 5th Hokage logically. However, Homura and Mito strongly recommend Jiraiya as the 5th Hokage. Danzo was furious because of this, but there was nothing he could do. One of Jiraiya Sanin's qualifications, as an orthodox Hiruzen disciple, he is indeed qualified to inherit the position of Hokage. However, but Jiraiya refused without hesitation. This kind of thing made Jiraiya more angry than watching Jiraiya become Hokage. The position of dignified Hokage was rejected in such an understatement. Does this guy still have Konoha village in his eyes? Yuanren refuses to be Konoha's Hokage. If it's just that, Jiraiya actually said that he wanted to find Tsunade as Konoha's Hokage. This made the group, 433, even more angry, and the disciples of Sarutobi Hiruzen became more and more arrogant. But it is true that Tsunade is more qualified than Jiraiya. After all, as the granddaughter of the first generation and also one of the Sanin, she has nothing to say about her strength. Identity is also understandable. But Jiraiya's attitude of wanting to decide who will be in charge of Konoha Hokage in a few words makes Danzo very unhappy. One must know that he longed day and night to become Hokage, but was thwarted in every possible way. However, the position of Hokage is at his fingertips, but he has to refuse in every possible way. They even have to find a woman, a Hokage who has already left Konoha for some reason and went to the big woman as Yi. You are pushing Konoha into the abyss step by step. Danzo, who left a harsh word, could only leave in despair. However, Homura and Mito have no problem with this, and Tsunade has no problem as Konoha's Hokage. But if there is no accident, it will be time for an accident. Jiraiya went back to the village, but unfortunately Tsunade was not found. It's fine if it's just like this, but Jiraiya was seriously injured and fell into a coma. Strictly speaking, he was brought back by Naruto. Inside Konoha Hospital, Naruto was extremely annoyed. It's all because of me. If it weren't for my rampage and out of control. Pervy Sage won't fight me forcibly just to stop me. It made his already heavy injury even more serious. Naruto, who was sitting on the bench in the aisle, couldn't stop himself from sliding out. Kakashi and others on the side looked at Naruto silently. I couldn't keep Sasuke. I'm really a waste. I'm still the tail of the crane. I can't do anything well. Whether it's Sasuke or Pervy Sage, it's all because of me. Little Sakura looked at Naruto and didn't know how to comfort him. Kakashi has no way to do it now, and can only temporarily let Naruto vent his emotions. This situation is undoubtedly worse for Konoha. Jiraiya, who was capable of serving as Hokage, is now seriously injured and unconscious. Depending on the situation, there is no way to wake up in a short time. After all, Jiraiya's injury this time is more serious than last time. The 3 bloody openings on the chest were torn open, and the bones and even the ribs were broken. It is already a miracle that Jiraiya is still alive under such circumstances. It is conservatively estimated that it will be impossible to recover within a year or so. However, it is difficult for Konoha now. There is no suitable candidate to succeed Hokage as a big country in the ninja world. If there is not a ninja with enough fame and strength to serve as Hokage, then unnecessary turmoil can quickly be caused. The daimyo of the country of fire can't help but do something to Konoha. Although the relationship between Ninja Village and Fire Country is superior and subordinate, as the only military force in Fire Country, Konoha is equivalent to the existence of the shogunate. The daimyo is just a puppet, who can enjoy the glory and wealth. But on the real issue, it was Hokage who decided. So once Konoha loses Hokage, it will be a major crisis for the whole village. Now it's time to send more ninjas to retrieve Tsunade. But Tsunade has been taken away by Orochimaru and Uchiha Sasuke, and his life and death are uncertain, and he doesn't even know whether he is dead or alive. I'm not in favor of sending more ninjas to find Tsunade in this situation. Orochimaru is also Sanin's powerful strength. We don't know where he is hiding, plus a Uchiha who has awakened Mangekyo Sharingan. If Konoha wants to save people, the price to pay will be extremely heavy. It's even possible that there will be no return. In Hokage's office, Konoha's Jonins were arguing. The 2 consultants, Mito and Homura, also frowned on this. This is the status quo of Konoha. There is no one who makes up his mind. As I said earlier, Jiraiya is unreliable, and neither is Tsunade. Even if Konoha is handed over to them, sooner or later it will be pushed into the abyss. During the speech, Danzo stood up slowly in the crowd. The current situation makes Danzo very happy. Because all the people who are qualified to compete with him for the position of Hokage seem to have disappeared. Jiraiya is seriously injured, and Tsunade's whereabouts are unknown. Right now Konoha needs someone to turn the tide, and it seems that this person can only be him. Danzo, what do you want to say? Mito and Homura are not feeling well. What do I want to say? Don't you all know what I want to say? Konoha can only become stronger if it is handed over to me. The position of Hokage can only be held by the old man now. The Jonins present were stunned for a moment. Although they all knew who Danzo was, they didn't know Danzo's strength. In terms of qualifications, Danzo is enough, but qualifications are not enough to become a Hokage. There must also be corresponding strength. A rather goofy Jonin looked at Danzo scrutinizingly. I'm sorry, Danzo-sama, although you have been working for Konoha for many years, and you are dedicated, but not everyone can be the Hokage. If there is no corresponding strength, it is impossible. Danzo gave the idiot a cold look. This old man is also a disciple of Master Second Hokage. Are you questioning this old man's strength? Disciple of Second Hokage? Danzo-sama is actually the same as Third Hokage? By the way, it's no wonder that only Lord Danzo dared to contradict Lord Third Generation repeatedly. So they are brothers in the same school? Does Konoha still have such an old antique? A Konoha Jonin were shocked. It seems that you all have no opinions. Then the Hokage old man will do his part. Homura and Mito looked at the silent Jonin, and now things turned bad. If Danzo is put in the position, I'm afraid, it will be a big disaster. Following the leader's voice fell. Immediately afterwards, ninjas emerged from all directions. Gather around the Hokage building. The atmosphere became much weirder in an instant. Danzo, what do you mean? The two advisors Homura and Mito stood up suddenly and stared at Danzo fiercely. However, Danzo didn't care much about it and smiled. Don't get me wrong, I just said that I also have a lot of ninja support. At the same time, I chose the position of Hokage. The old man recommended me only out of helplessness. After all, there is no suitable candidate in Konoha today. Jonin of Konoha, I don't know if you are willing to support me. Although it is said so, but look at Danzo's meaning. If you don't support him, you will be targeted by Danzo. Some Jonin looked outside at the densely packed route ninjas. Now Anbu's ninjas have suffered a lot of casualties in previous battles, and now there are no ninjas to lead. The ninja at the route was basically suppressed by. In this case, the ninjas of the Hokage faction basically have no idea of resistance. Danzo's majesty is also there. I would like to support Lord Danzo. As the first Jonin bowed his head, he began to show his support for Danzo. With the first comes the second. One after another, the Jonin in Hokage's office bowed their heads. However, there is a group of people missing. For example, Asuma and others did not come to the meeting. Because they are visiting Jiraiya in Konoha Hospital at the moment. Although they did not come to this meeting, they also had an idea of what the meeting would look like. Kakashi. This time Danzo will probably take the opportunity to take Hokage's position directly. Asuma looked at Kakashi in front of him, his injury was almost healed. Kakashi nodded, yeah. I also know something about Danzo's ambition. Then what should we do? Jiraiya-sama is in this situation. Tsunade-sama is nowhere to be seen either. Is it true that Konoha's Hokage position should be held by that person? Speaking of this kind of thing, Guy is also very serious. Hong frowned on the side. In terms of qualifications and strength, Danzo is indeed a suitable candidate, but this person is an ambitious guy. Let him become Konoha's Hokage Ninja War. Maybe there will be another ninja war. Must. That's right. Mitarashi Anko also nodded. There are also ninjas from the Inuzuka clan and the Aburame clan. They are also all ninjas belonging to Kakashi and their Hokage circle. Of course, strictly speaking, there are Nara, Akamichi, Yamanaka, and even Hyuga supporters of the Hokage faction. But they are members of the Konoha family after all, so they cannot express their attitude at will. Because a little carelessness will ruin the family forever. So people like Lu Ju, Ding Zuo, Hai Yi and the others stayed behind closed doors, showing that they did not want to participate in this battle at all. No matter who becomes Hokage, the ninjas of their families will still be reused by Hokage. This is how the family survives. You can't put all your bets on one person. So even under Danzo's command, there are people from the Yamanaka clan and the Aburame clan. Just when several people were having trouble with this, suddenly Jonin Moonlight Gale suddenly appeared. Senior Kakashi is bad. Danzo has received the support of many Konoha Jonin, and has basically determined the position of the next Hokage, who will be taken over by Danzo. What? One sentence directly stunned everyone present. Impossible. How could Master Homura and Mito agree? Sarutobi Asuma asked in surprise. However, Yu Guang Haifeng's expression was also ugly and he shook his head regretfully. It's a daimyo, because of his name he chose to support Danzo. The daimyo really intervened in Konoha's affairs. Compared with the Fire Nation daimyo, what kind of promise did Danzo get, or some kind of cooperation was reached between the two? That's why all the big names came out to support Danzo. There are some things that cannot be put on the surface. If either Jiraiya or Tsunade is in Konoha, they can directly and tactfully refuse the daimyo's kindness. But now there is no ninja who is strong enough to resist them, and the weight of support due to name has become a bit heavy. It stands to reason that the daimyo has no right to intervene in Konoha's Hokage, who is the problem. But these matters can be brought to the surface by the headquarters. Hateful. Asuma clenched her fists hard. I didn't expect Danzo to use this method. Doing so would set a precedent. Maybe this term Hokage, the daimyo can't do anything about him. But what about later? After the precedent is established, in the future, Konoha's Hokage selection must refer to the opinions of the daimyo. It's fine if the daimyo agrees, but what if the daimyo chosen by Konoha doesn't agree? What should we do then? Don't you care about daimyo's opinion? That is obviously impossible. After all, once there are precedents for some things, then the only thing to do in the future is to follow the previous examples. Is this guy Danzo an idiot? Put a shackle on Konoha. Even Hong couldn't help cursing. One can imagine how angry Kakashi and others are now. The corridor outside Jiraiya's ward suddenly became very quiet. Everyone was silent. Even if they want to change this situation, there seems to be no way at all. Damn it. If Jiraiya-sama didn't say that, where would it be Danzo's turn to speak now? Guy is very helpless. However, it is useless to say such words at this time. Swish. Suddenly another Jonin appears. It was Genma Shiranui, the examiner for the Chunin exam. Senior Kakashi, come back. Came back. What came back? Master Tsunade is back. Hearing the word Tsunade, everyone's eyes brightened. The haze on his face was swept away. What you said is true. Asuma shook Genma's arm, holding onto it. Genma nodded affirmatively. I have just received a summons from Konoha, your gate guard on the street. Master Tsunade has returned to the village. Great Kakashi, it's calm now, Asuma smiled. However, Kakashi's face quickly changed from joy to ugly. Calm. The things that are within your reach are right in front of you, but there is a sudden change. Maybe. This is not calm. But the prelude to the storm. Konoha is going to be messed up. Kakashi glanced at the others. Seeing that they all had smiles on their faces, they seemed to be very happy. Kakashi silently sighed inwardly. Let's go. Go see Master Tsunade, the current Konoha. It is the best result for Master Tsunade to preside over the overall situation. What will happen to Konohas tomorrow? At this moment, Kakashi has no idea. Danzo won't let go that easily. The position of Hokage is within easy reach. Telling him to get out at this time is worse than killing him. There seemed to be a thick layer of haze over Konoha at this moment. At the same time, in the base of Yinin village, a stone in Sasuke's hand was crushed casually. Looking at the rock powder scattered all over the place. The whole day, Sasuke is crazily practicing the nature transformation of the soil attribute. However, this process is much more difficult than Sasuke imagined, and the cultivation of nature transformation is not so easy. What's more, Sasuke is the fourth nature transformation. The difficulty is super doubled. In the original book, it took 2 full days for Naruto to use plugins and shadow clone technique to practice the nature transformation of the wind attribute. And Sasuke alone, or practice the 4 nature transformations. Orochimaru originally predicted that it would be impossible for Sasuke to practice the 4th nature transformation without a year or a half. An extremely difficult task even with Sasuke's talents. However, one day, Sasuke has already completed the nature transformation of the soil attribute. The rock powder scattered all over the place is the best answer. Every balloon is continuously petrified by Sasuke. Even the petrified balloon directly turned into a solid stone. The hardest part of this training isn't petrifying the balloon. Instead, fill the space inside the balloon and let chakra perform the nature transformation of the earth attribute, so that the space inside the balloon can be slowly filled step by step. At the same time, this process cannot be stopped. Once stopped, the petrified balloon will be interrupted. Once interrupted, the balloon will burst. This time the nature transformation training failed. White has been guarding Sasuke. After watching Sasuke train in nature transformation all day, she was completely intimidated by Sasuke's terrifying talent. As a ninja of the Ice Escape Blood Successor boundary, Bai Kei knows very well how difficult it is to condense a ball of ice out of thin air. That's how she came here at the beginning. She knows how difficult Sasuke's training is. You can watch Sasuke complete the nature transformation training of soil attributes bit by bit. Bai's heart was extremely shocked. Sasuke-sama's talent is really scary. It's so simple. The training of nature transformation has been completed. In one day, I have mastered a new nature transformation. If this continues, Master Sasuke, one day I will not be able to use my power at all. Because Sasuke's talent is too amazing, even Bai has a sense of tool crisis. As if he would lose his effect soon. No. Absolutely no such situation can occur. She also has to strengthen her training. Make yourself stronger so that one day you won't even be able to help Sasuke. Mastering the new nature transformation, Sasuke felt his chakra get heavier again. Chakra's power has been enhanced again. If it is the display interface of the game, it should be visible now. Sasuke's basic attributes have increased a lot. Whether it is speed and strength or defense, they have all been enhanced to a certain extent. But none of these enhancements mattered to Sasuke. The most exciting thing for Sasuke now is that wood style can finally be obtained. The previous reward, Blood Successor Boundary, can finally be obtained now. Sasuke now has chakra with 4 attributes, and there are many blood succession limits that Sasuke can choose. But other blood succession limits are not within the scope of Sasuke's consideration at all. Please host to choose a blood succession limit to obtain. Available to obtain Blood Successor Boundary: Boil Style, Lava Style, Land Done, Wood Style, Explosion Style. These are the available bloodline boundaries, although the other bloodline boundaries seem to be pretty good too. But I want Wood Style. Congratulations to host for obtaining Blood Succession Limit, Wood Style. Because the host obtained the Wood Style Blood Succession Limit, defeat any tailed beast, you can get a reward. Wood Style Promotion Practice Method Boundary of Blood Succession, Mangekyo Sharingan, Phase 1. Wood Style, Phase 1. A new escapism appears, and it is still the wood style that I have been thinking about. At this moment, Sasuke felt that his body suddenly changed a little bit. Every cell in my body seemed to be breathing. Breathing in and out of the air naturally, the body suddenly became a lot easier. The changes brought about by wood style are more than just allowing Sasuke to master a new evasion technique. At the same time, the changes in the body are huge. The self-healing ability possessed by wood style can allow the body of the capable person to recover super fast. Wood. Plants in nature can breathe naturally and automatically. At this moment, Sasuke even seemed to feel a weak natural energy, as if being sucked into his body. But unfortunately, this energy dissipated for a while, and quickly dissipated by itself. After having this feeling, Sasuke suddenly reacted. Could it be that Senju Hashirama relied on this ability to turn on Sage Mode, and he almost didn't have to worry about chakra consumption? Because wood style by itself is able to help Hashirama absorb the natural energy. There is no need to absorb natural energy by yourself or with Kurama like Naruto. The effect of wood style is more amazing than Sasuke imagined. If there is such an effect of automatically absorbing natural energy, then once Sasuke learns Sage Mode, he will open Infinite Chakra Mode. At that time, the inexhaustible natural energy will be used by Sasuke at will. However, it is not without limitations. Sasuke's wood style effect at this stage is probably the ability to absorb weak energy from nature, which can be almost ignored. This level is probably not enough to condense Sage Mode. It seems that we need to continue to raise the level of the wood style blood successor. Sasuke looked down at a small sapling slowly emerging from his palm. Sasuke-kun, your talent is really shocking. Have you mastered the 4th nature transformation so quickly? Orochimaru's voice sounded. Sasuke hastily put away the wood style in his palm. Turn your head and look at Orochimaru approaching slowly. It's okay. It's not too difficult to master nature transformation. Is it not difficult to copy? Orochimaru was speechless. If an ordinary ninja heard Sasuke, he would probably vomit blood in anger. Give them a year or so, and they may not be able to master the 1st nature transformation, let alone the 4th. Come here, is there any news about the tailed beast? Orochimaru nodded. I found two-tailed beasts, and I think it's better for you to decide which one to choose, Sasuke-kun. Which two-tailed beasts? Orochimaru glanced at Shiro next to him, and then started talking. One is 3 tails. This tail beast has gained freedom since the death of the previous Jinchuriki. Now it seems to be hiding somewhere, and the exact location is under investigation. The approximate location has been determined. If you want to capture 3 tails, it should be the easiest. 3 tails is indeed a good choice. 3 tails should be enough for Kimimaro too. The other one is Jinchuriki, the ninja lousy of rock shinobi. My information says that he has left the range of the land of Earth and is performing a mission somewhere. So if you want to capture 5 tails Jinchuriki at this time, it is also a good choice. But rock shinobi's ninja lousy is not an easy guy to deal with. He is known as a steam ninja. At the same time, the location is not very sure. I probably found a few places where he is. You need to further investigate yourself to be sure. 1 3 tails, 1 5 tails. As for where the other tailed beasts are, it basically goes without saying. For example, 9 tails at Konoha. Even if I say so, can I still go to Konoha to capture 9 tails? Obviously impossible. There are also some Jinchuriki who don't know where to go. Even Orochimaru doesn't mean that if you find each other, you can easily find each other. So now Sasuke can only choose 3 tails and 5 tails. At this time Kimimaro also followed. Sasuke saw Kimimaro's figure. Catching the tailed beast to heal Kimimaro is now the best of both worlds for Sasuke. First of all, you can treat Kimimaro and repay this guy for saving himself. Secondly, the system also gives a task. Defeating any tailed beast can obtain the wood-style promotion practice method. Under such circumstances, finding the tailed beast is a matter of certainty. Even if it is not for Kimimaro Sasuke, he needs to find the tailed beast. Kimimaro, you came just in time. What's your opinion? As a party involved, Sasuke still has to refer to Kimimaro's meaning. However, Kimimaro looked at Sasuke. Sasuke-sama can decide. I don't have any special opinion. Okay. It seems that Kimimaro is putting himself in the same position as Orochimaru. Orochimaru didn't care about Kimimaro at all. Instead, look at Sasuke. So Sasuke-kun decides which tail beast to attack. Hearing this, Sasuke frowned. 3 tails and 5 tails are 2 tail beasts, in terms of ability. 5 tails should be more helpful to Kimimaro. 5 tails with boil-style power can make Kimimaro's power even more amazing. Dead Bone Pulse is combined with boil-style, weird power. The bonus of combat power is not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. But for Rock Shinobi's ninja shot, first of all, the opponent's trace is still uncertain, and secondly, it is indeed more difficult to deal with. Sasuke has not yet started learning the sealing technique. As for how to extract the tailed beast from Jinchuriki's body and seal it into Kimimaro's body, Sasuke still doesn't know how to do it. Secondly, everyone is the one who can perfectly control the tailed beast. Even if it is successfully sealed into Kimimaro's body, it may not be that Kimimaro can perfectly control the power of the tailed beast. So in comparison, 3 tails is a little easier. After all, Jinchuriki's 3 tails has been lost, so it is easier for Kimimaro to surrender it. Then capture 3 tails. Hearing this, Orochimaru nodded. Okay. When Sasuke-kun wants to leave. Originally, Orochimaru thought that Sasuke would wait for a while, and Sasuke was still busy practicing the ninjutsu in the sealed book. I can't find time for a while. But what Orochimaru doesn't know is Sasuke's desire for wood style to advance to the practice method now. Let's go now. I'm going to pack up, and we're leaving. Hearing that Kimimaro didn't think there was anything wrong, Orochimaru was quite surprised. Are you planning to go now? Was Sasuke so desperate to help Kimimaro? Thinking of this, Orochimaru feels a little weird. Master Sasuke, please take me with you this time no matter what. Bai suddenly asked. Sasuke nodded, then let's go together. It is said to pack things, but in fact it is to add some ninja hidden weapons, detonating charms, military food pills and so on. Simultaneously, Sasuke has to bring the most important thing with him. The Book of Seals. This thing Sasuke is worried about leaving him at the base of Yanin village. Besides, Sasuke can also try to practice the sealing technique above when he is on the road. There are also many sealing techniques in the Book of Seals, many of which can be used to seal tailed beasts. What Sasuke needs is not to completely seal the power of the tailed beast, but to seal the will of the tailed beast so that the chakra of the tailed beast can be revealed. For use by Kimimaro. By the way, Mr. Sasuke, when you get there, someone will tell you where Three Tails is. There is also one of my bases in that place, you can use it as you like. I wish you success. Come to Sasuke at the base exit and look back at Orochimaru. Speaking of which, there is one more thing Sasuke wants to ask Orochimaru for help. By the way, Master Orochimaru, I also have something to ask for your help. Please help yourself. That's odd. Orochimaru was curious about what Sasuke wanted himself to do. I wonder if Master Orochimaru will let me sign a summoning contract with Ryuchi Cave after I come back this time. Summoning beasts are of great help in battle. However, the meaning of this sentence is seen by Bai and Kimimaro, and the more chill is that Sasuke wants to learn from Orochimaru. And Orochimaru himself thinks so. But Sasuke didn't mean that. But Orochimaru, who understands this way, is obviously in a good mood. It would be nice to have someone like Sasuke in his footsteps. What kind of changes will the ninja trained by myself bring to the entire ninja world? Thinking about it makes me look forward to it. No problem. After Sasuke-kun comes back, we can start. Is it so easy to agree? Then after returning, sign a contract with Ryuchi Cave, and Sasuke will be able to go to the Holy Land and learn Ryuchi Cave's Sage Mode. The Sage Mode of the 3 Holy Lands plus the ability of the wood style to breathe autonomously and absorb natural energy. Soon I don't have to worry about chakra anymore. At that time, Sasuke can also use enough chakra to realize more terrifying tricks in this world. The location Orochimaru gave to Sasuke and others is on an island in the country of water. It will take about a week to rush from Yinin village. Of course, this is the normal rush speed, if you go at full speed. Excluding the time needed to take a boat at sea, it only takes about 2 days to get there. Sasuke and the others were not too anxious, and they didn't have to hurry over there. On the way, Sasuke also used the time to start some training. In addition to obtaining the wood-style promotion practice method as soon as possible, Sasuke also needs to make his comprehensive evaluation reach Jonin's level as soon as possible. According to previous experience, then it is necessary to raise all the skills to a level comparable to Jonin. That is, the level of Xiaocheng, and want to raise all the skills to the level of Xiaocheng. This is not a simple matter. Even Sasuke's talent takes a lot of time. Every stage of leap represents a qualitative improvement. More practice is needed, and Sasuke has mastered many techniques. All must be upgraded to the level of Xiaocheng, which means that the more you learn, the more difficult it is for Sasuke to improve. Take Sasuke's fire style as an example, among the fire style ninjutsu that Sasuke has learned. There is only one ninjutsu that has been strengthened, fire style. Fire Dragon Explosion Technique is a small level jutsu. All other fire style ninjutsu are Grandmaster stage. It would take a week to upgrade all of these fire styles to the Xiaocheng level, conservatively estimated. And in the process of rushing, there will not be too much time for cultivation, and there are few places suitable for cultivation. The practice of fire style is also very dynamic. Not to mention there are other escape techniques. Sasuke's lightning style and water style have also learned a lot of techniques. I won't talk about earth style, I haven't learned ninjutsu yet. This one is fine. It is enough for Sasuke to spend a lot of time on the escapism of these 3 systems. At the same time, Sasuke also wanted to take into account the refining of chakra and the practice of Sharingan. There never feels like enough time. During the rush, Sasuke can only use it to improve his physical fitness. A weight specially made by Orochimaru. Originally, Sasuke scoffed at this way of cultivation, but now he has to say, the real one. Carrying a load of hundreds of caddies, even if it is just walking for a period of time, Sasuke's body functions are constantly being squeezed. Strength, speed, balance, and reaction ability have all been improved to varying degrees. It's nice to feel a little bit of progress, although the speed is a bit slow. But it is enough for Sasuke to be able to make use of the time on the road. seeing that Sasuke didn't forget to practice even when he was on the road. Bai and Kimimaro silently labeled Sasuke as a cultivating madman. No wonder Sasuke has such strength at his age. Crazy training like Sasuke's has been non-stop, and even the time when he is on the road has to be used for training. Coupled with that kind of talent, it's hard not to become stronger. As Sasuke can only focus on polishing his body after training due to objective reasons. The astonishment of the excellent physique of the previous award seems to be reflected. No matter how hard the training is, even if you are exhausted, as long as it doesn't make Sasuke completely unconscious. Well, Sasuke just needs a short break and something to eat. It can restore about 1/3 of the physical strength. The recovery speed is very fast, just like the speed of recovering chakra. It seems that this excellent physique rewarded by the system, although it didn't directly turn me into a Shaoqiang who is immune to death like Uzumaki or Senju. But when my body is close to the limit, the ability to recover is extremely powerful. As long as you eat enough, your body can quickly absorb the energy from food to restore your body's consumption. Not to mention the strength alone, Sasuke could feel his strength become stronger with the naked eye. A huge boulder weighing hundreds of katis can already be easily lifted and thrown away without urging chakra. With such a speed of progress, if Xiaoli knew about it, he might cry. For ninjas who specialize in taijutsu, the more Sasuke tortures himself, the faster his physique will improve, which is simply a dream. After strengthening his physique, Sasuke also discovered one more thing. His own wood style also seems to be slightly stronger. If this matter is changed to someone else, it probably won't be felt. But Sasuke has the super insight pupil technique, and he can see the changes in himself very thoroughly. Wood style has a slightly faster release. Even the unleashed wood style vines seem to be more alive. Are these changes all due to my enhanced physique? Physical enhancement can actually affect the power of wood style? The power of Yang Dun. Sasuke suddenly thought of the question about Yang Dun and Yin Dun. Hashirama's wood style is very different from Yamato's wood style, and the most fundamental reason is not only related to the amount of chakra. Perhaps more importantly, Hashirama inherited Ashura chakra, and the most obvious effect brought by Ashura chakra is the extremely terrifying vitality. Life force may be a little incomprehensible, so let's put it another way, the power of Yang Dun. The most important factor affecting the power of wood style is Yang Dun. The enhancement of my physique means that my Yang Dun is also enhanced, so wood style becomes stronger. And if you think about it this way, then Sharingan seems to be just the opposite. Why are there so many Sharingans that only Madara and Sasuke's Sharingan are so terrifying? The core reason may have something to do with Yin Dun and Indra Chakra. Sharingan cultivation method, the enhanced spiritual energy should be enhancing my Yin escape power. Then wood style's advanced cultivation method can probably directly enhance my body's energy, that is, the power of Yang escape. Thinking of this, Sasuke got a little excited. At this time, Kimimaro suddenly stopped the boat. Master Sasuke, we're here. This is the destination. Hearing this, Sasuke came back to his senses and looked at it. At this moment, there was already a person standing on the shore, who seemed to come to greet them. This woman looks like Gurren? The ninja from Crystal Style Blood Succession Limit? But after being surprised, Sasuke felt a little strange, because this woman was full of murderous aura. It seems that I don't like to see myself. 3. Sasuke jumped off the boat and looked up at Gurren 10 meters away. Dusk. The wind blows slowly by the sea, and the golden light reflected from the resplendent coastline. It landed on Honglian's face. Let Honglian look extraordinary. Kimimaro also felt something was wrong with Gurren, and according to his understanding, Gurren was also a loyal servant of Orochimaru like him. Absolutely loyal to Lord Orochimaru. This time I came here to meet myself and the others, and I should have received the order of Master Orochimaru. But right now it looks like this guy is so angry. It's Uchiha Sasuke. There was a faint chill in his tone, as if this guy hated himself very much. Sasuke doesn't quite understand. He probably hasn't met the other party. He doesn't have any communication with the other party. There is no relationship in the original work, just two strangers who have nothing to do with each other. But how could this guy be so impatient towards him? What is the situation? That's right. I'm Sasuke. Very good. Now let me see how amazing your most perfect container is. For a moment, Honglian made a direct move without any warning. This action made Kimimara's expression change instantly. No matter what the reason was, he couldn't do anything to master Sasuke. This guy is courting death. However, without waiting for Kimimaro to make a move. In the next second, an ice wall appeared halfway, stopping Honglian. Looking at the suddenly condensed ice wall, the cold air is still bubbling. For a split second, Honglian froze for a moment. Ice escape? Somewhat surprised, Gurren turned to look at Shiro. Bai, who made a seal with one hand, now drew out his 1,000 copies and stared at her fiercely. If you dare to speak insultingly to Master Sasuke again, or if you want to do something, then get ready. I will show no mercy to those who dare to offend Lord Sasuke. Honglian sneered, is it up to you? It's just a mere ice escape. Whoosh. 1,000 copies were thrown out by Bai directly. The speed and accuracy are very good, and Bai's strength is not just talking. However, the next second, beep, suddenly an ice crystal column appeared, directly blocking Honglian's front. Ding. Easily flick Bai Chinban away. This kind of attack can't hurt me at all. Is it? Bai frowned, and started to seal again. In the next second, frost spread from Bai's feet, quickly sweeping towards Honglian. The ground along the way was instantly frozen. Seeing this scene, Honglian also did not show weakness, and her hands began to form seals quickly. Crystal-style Omi-Watari technique. The moment the chakra wave erupted, dense crystal spikes emerged from the ground, and rapidly expanded toward Bai. Bai's eyes narrowed slightly. What kind of blood inheritance limit is this? It is so similar to her ice escape. But the crystal breaks the ice crystal quickly, and the hardness of the two is not the same level at all. Bang bang bang. Hearing the sound of ice crystals shattering, he saw that the crystal spikes were about to spread to Bai's feet. Bai sealed again. Water-style secret technique dry killing water shong. The sudden white chakra fluctuation also erupted at the same time. In an instant, Chinban, formed by a large amount of water flow, swept away quickly towards the opponent. The densely packed Chinban with strong impact easily shattered these crystal spikes. For the first time, the confrontation between the two seemed evenly divided. Your ice escape blood successor boundary doesn't look very good. I need to use water style to block my attack, Honglian said with some pride. And Bai's complexion was a bit ugly, and she hadn't been able to develop much of Bing Dun's ninjutsu. The most important reason is that she has never systematically learned ninjutsu. These ninjutsu are all the techniques she brings in the blood succession boundary. And she just awakened this part of the memory, thus learning these techniques. If she can learn some ninjutsu systematically, it is not difficult to develop some ninjutsu using the ice shield. HMPH. Ice Dun's power, you'd better not underestimate it. Ice escape, ice knife. Suddenly Bai condensed an ice skate, and at the same time Gurren showed a smile. Crystal style, emerald knife. In the next second, a blade was condensed. The two women each held their weapons, glanced at each other, and rushed towards each other in the next second. When the blades collided together, making a crisp sound, it looked like neither of them would back down. Sasuke was speechless. The reason why Gurren is angry Sasuke probably already understood. It seems that this woman is jealous of herself because she directly replaced her as Orochimaru's best container candidate. I didn't expect to be envied one day because of this kind of thing. Looking at Gurren, who was still competing with Bai. Honglian is older than Bai, so she naturally has the upper hand in terms of strength. At the same time, crystal style is naturally stronger than ice escape in terms of hardness. But the most terrifying part of ice escape is not the hardness, but the low temperature. This silly girl Bai didn't know how to take advantage of this. You must know that if the temperature is low enough, what crystal style, no matter what crystal she makes, it will shatter when touched lightly. This is the horror of low temperature. And Bai Xian's current Bingdan obviously can't do this. If you continue to fight, Bai will inevitably suffer. Sasuke sighed softly, raised his hand and threw out a kunai directly. Swish. The sudden burst of kunai made Honglian's brows tremble violently. Raise the emerald knife to block the front. Jingle. A crisp impact sounded, and the crystal knife shattered. But the bounced kunai just stabbed lightly to the ground. Bai still wanted to continue to attack. Sasuke stopped her. Come back, white. Hearing Sasuke's order, Shiro stopped. Sasuke glanced at Gurren. Next second. ZZ. Thunder and lightning erupted instantly. Thunder raged on Sasuke's body, and the surrounding ground was directly burned by the raging lightning, scorching black marks one after another. In an instant, the aura released by Sasuke completely locked Gurren. Gurren felt the cold hairs all over her body stand up. If you still want to continue to make trouble, come to me. I'll play with you.